Hello my friends. In addition to millions of cattle of popular breeds such as Angus, Hereford, Holstein or Nguni, currently many cattle farms in the United States and some African countries also raise Longhorn cattle for the purpose of harvesting meat, milk or raising for conservation. In recent years, the most famous Longhorn cattle breeds can be mentioned as the Ankole cattle or Texas Longhorn. In addition, the English Longhorn is also a well-known and popular Longhorn cattle breed in the north of the United Kingdom. From the Great Plains of the United States to the tribal lands of Africa, Longhorn cattle symbolize resilience, great adaptability, and timeless beauty. We are currently located in the western region of Uganda. This is where the largest concentration of Ankole Longhorn cattle ranches are in Africa. Like most other livestock lands in the world, each morning these Ankole Longhorn cattle will be released from the barn and go into the pastures to feed freely. It is estimated that there are currently nearly 7.3 million Ankole cattle raised in Africa, and they are mainly distributed in East Africa, especially countries such as Uganda, Rwanda, or Kenya, where they are of cultural and economic importance. According to the grazing habits of farmers in East Africa, herds of dozens or even hundreds of individuals are usually only grazed in pastures up to 3 miles from the farm. In addition to helping farmers easily control their livestock, another reason why herdsmen and their herds don't have to travel too far is because natural food sources in this area are abundant and readily available. Although the Ankole is a culturally well-loved cattle breed in Africa, the Ankole is not the continent's most popular cattle breed. For decades, the Zebu has always been the most popular cattle breed raised in Africa. It is estimated that at present, the number of Zebu cattle in Africa may be more than 300 million individuals. The Ankole Longhorn cattle are common only in East Africa, and their name comes from the Ankole people, an ethnic group living mainly in the western regions of Uganda and parts of Rwanda. On average, an adult male Ankole usually weighs around 1,100 pounds, and the average weight of a female is only around 800 pounds. Compared to Angus cattle raised in the United States, the weight of Ankole Longhorn cattle is about 30% lighter. In the grazing pastures of Uganda, farmers often store water for their livestock by building rainwater tanks or digging small canals to channel water. In the late afternoon, when the sun has gradually turned off, the Ankole herds will be herded into the barn to rest. Because there are no predators around these farms, the construction of the barn is also done rather simply, and it does not have a roof. Most herders here just need a place to gather their herds close to where they live. About every 3 days, the farmers will burn straw or other materials to create smoke in the barn to control insects and other parasites. In addition, They say this helps reduce the stress of animals in tight conditions. When the Ankole Longhorn cattle are eligible for meat production, they are taken to cattle markets and then sold to slaughterhouses. It is estimated that 2.7 million Ankole Longhorn cattle are slaughtered each year for their meat. More than 60% of these cattle are raised in the western regions of Uganda. We say goodbye to the plains of Africa now. We will go to several states in the United States to see how farmers here raise tens of thousands of Texas Longhorn cattle. According to USDA statistics, by the end of 2022, there were about 273,000 Texas Longhorn cattle being raised in the United States. And of course, many of these cattle are raised on farms in, you guessed it, Texas. Like many other cattle breeds raised in the United States, Texas Longhorn cattle are raised for their meat and crossbreeding. However, the most striking feature this Longhorn cattle breed brings to America is its historical and cultural significance. Many ranchers in the United States claim that they often raise Texas Longhorn cattle to preserve and honor the heritage of the American West. In addition, these Longhorn cattle serve as a symbol of the frontier era. Only about 45,000 Texas Longhorn cattle are slaughtered in the United States each year, and meat extraction is only performed on the mature cattle. All calves of this breed are kept until they are at least 18 months old. Currently, the ranch with the most Texas Longhorn cattle is a ranch in Hill County, Central Texas. This ranch has about 420 Longhorn cattle, and each year between 100 and 130 of these Texas Longhorns are sold for meat production and for entertainment or exhibition purposes. Which breed of Longhorn cattle are you most impressed with? Let me know what you think in the comments section of the video. Hello my friends. Farming is not only affected by mammals like wild rabbits, wild pigs or rats. Every year, Australian farmers and ranchers suffer significant damage from millions of wild birds from the parrot family. Currently, there are 56 species of parrots living in most areas of Australia, with an estimated number of more than 17 million individuals. Among them are the galah cockatoo, the sulphur-crested cockatoo, a rainbow lorikeet, and the budgerigar, and these are some of the most popular parrot breeds on the continent. There are flocks of parrots that number in the dozens and even hundreds, and they can appear where you live. In addition to making annoying noises, they can also harm crops such as grain crops, fruit trees, and nut trees. In addition, parrots can also nest in inappropriate places, like the recesses of your roof. Having dozens of parrots in your backyard also causes pollution due to the hundreds of piles of droppings they leave behind. These are galah cockatoos. They are believed to be the most numerous of all parrots living on mainland Australia. In the wild, the galah is found in a wide variety of habitats, from arid hinterlands to wooded areas. In addition, this bird is also commonly seen in urban and suburban areas of cities. This is a cattle ranch in Maranoa County, southwest Queensland. Around this area is also a home to a flock of galah cockatoos, with a number of nearly 300. Galahs often have a habit of eating grass and nuts. Each day, hundreds of galahs often fly to this farm in search of water and food. Unfortunately, this is usually used for livestock and includes corn as well as some other seeds. The appearance of these noisy birds causes a lot of discomfort to the people working on this cattle farm. They not only appear around cattle and poultry farms though. Galahs also frequently form large flocks and fly to fields of wheat or barley to feed. Galahs are often attracted to crops that are in the milk or past stage. As soon as the seeding process is completed, these noisy birds may emerge to eat some kind of seed. Imagine what happens when you have a field of wheat ready to be harvested, when suddenly hundreds of galahs come from nowhere to enjoy a free meal on your dime. In the northern parts of Australia, the breeding phase of the galah takes place from July to December each year, and in the southern regions, the breeding period for this bird usually lasts from February to July. During each breeding season of a cockatoo pair, usually only 2 to 3 eggs are successfully hatched. However, once a young bird is an adult, they can live up to 25 years in the wild, or up to 70 years when kept as pets. If you start keeping a galah as a pet right now, chances are you'll be the one to say goodbye to this world sooner than your pet. It is estimated that there are more than 4 million galahs living in the entire territory of Australia. Each year, this noisy bird costs Australian grain farmers about $173 million in damage to their crops. To control the population of galahs, some localities in Australia have used measures such as culling or trapping. All controls must be in place in accordance with Australian wildlife laws to ensure that these birds are treated humanely. It is estimated that adopting measures to control the galahs cost the Australian government nearly $4 million a year. If you are an Australian, like me, tell us what negative impact the galahs have had on your life. In addition to the galahs, budgies are also a parrot species found in abundance in Australia, and the negative impact this small bird has on agriculture in this country is significant. In the wild, budgies usually live in flocks of about 100 individuals. However, the number of budgies in the flock can increase to several thousand after the rainy season ends. The reason for the rapid increase in the number of budgies in a flock after the rainy season is at this time the rapid growth of vegetation provides more food and nesting material. As a small bird that lives in flocks, budgies have always been considered the favourite prey of birds of prey, such as falcons. In most areas of Australia, in the places where budgies live, are also home to flocks of falcons. However, with an estimated population of nearly 5 million, the impact of birds of prey on the number of budgies in Australia is negligible. It is estimated that only about 1.3% of budgies in Australia die each year due to the impact of predators and other factors such as disease or hunting. In most areas of Australia, the breeding season for budgies usually lasts from September to February of the following year. However, this bird can also completely stop breeding for a year if the weather conditions are too dry or there is a lack of nesting material. After about 6 to 7 weeks, these young birds will be ready to leave the nest, and after each breeding season, the number in a colony of budgies usually increases to about 13 to 17 times the original number. Like most other parrot species in Australia, budgies also have a habit of eating nuts and grains. A flock of parrots with hundreds or even thousands of them will cause significant damage to fields of wheat or sorghum that are about to enter the harvest period. In addition, fruit farms such as bananas or mangoes are also a favourite place for a flock of budgies. In the wild, adult budgies need to drink water at least 7 times per day. Therefore, small water holes in arid regions of Australia are often a place where you can easily see the appearance of these small birds. In some cases where budgies cause damage to crops or other resources, Australian landowners or agricultural authorities may take measures such as trapping, scaring, or shooting to control the populations. Overall, the impact of millions of parrots in Australia on agriculture is quite significant, especially on small farms. However, compared with other pests such as feral pigs or wild rabbits, the impact of parrots in Australia on agriculture is only a very, very small part.